Okay, here we are again. Last time it was Super 8, this time it's Transformers Dark of the Moon. Got Brian along with me. We're going to go check it out. We're going to go see it in 3D, the digital 3D. And of course, this is a movie that 3D's riding upon. If it doesn't work out, they will cancel 3D movies altogether, which I'm sure the theater chains are not too happy about because they had to upgrade a lot of their projectors and so forth. But a lot of them are now digital now because of it. So what are you expecting, Brian?
A big 3D film.
A big 3D film? You're pretty vague.
Shut up, would you?
But we're hoping this is good. The reviews are kind of mixed on this film. We're going to go check it out. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be entertaining, so we'll see you later.
Our entire space race of the 1960s was in response to an event. If you breathe a word of what you've seen here, it will do time for treason.
Everything humans know of our planet, we were told, had been shared. You lied to us. You've made a grave mistake.
Years from now, they're gonna ask, where were you when they took over the planet?
You'll be fine, I promise. It's over. I'm sorry, but it's over.
You may lose your faith in us, but never in yourselves. From here, the fight will be your own.
So, Transformers Dark of the Moon. You know, that video you saw before. I had to do a second take because I actually said Revenge of the Fallen in that. That's one thing. We've been out of the theater for, I don't know, about 4 hours or so. And Brian doesn't want to do these reviews, but if you find me looking at this, because it's my monitor and I've got IMDb, make sure I have all my stats correct when I do this review. Dark of the Moon. Very entertaining movie, I will say that. If you're looking for something that is just very entertaining, don't ever expect anything to be like the first Transformers. I've said this in videos past. I've kind of, how do I want to say it, had my standards real low for this one because of Revenge of the Fallen. And pretty much a lot of other people feel the same way. And critics hate Michael Bay movies altogether, so I should really take that into consideration.
But Dark of the Moon. Where to begin? The movie picks up with Sam Witwicky, and he has just graduated from Stanford. If you remember, that's where he went to college from in the second movie. But this time, he's stuck between that age where he's just graduated college and he's looking for a job. And he's, of course, living in Washington, D.C. And he's expecting, just because he saved the world, that the government is going to give him a job. Actually, the government doesn't really care for him. He's kind of like a Vietnam vet in a way that he's very mistreated. And of course, you know, there's always the Autobots. They're making their return. And the whole point is that there's this whole story that takes place that involved the Apollo 11 mission. And it involved Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. And they show kind of fake archival footage of President Kennedy saying, you know, we need to go to the moon. And they basically shows the CIA coming to him and providing that, see if there's alien evidence on. And they, of course, if you've seen the teaser, you see what happens when Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin go to investigate. And they find this being there. In case you're wondering what the being is, it is the Sentinel. And what the Sentinel was trying to do, the Sentinel is a prime. Sentinel, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it, is voiced by Leonard Nimoy. In case you don't, a little bit of trivia, in case you haven't seen it, but Leonard Nimoy was a voice in the original Transformers movie back in the 1980s. He is the Sentinel. The whole thing is that Megatron is involved as well, and whatever the Sentinel is doing is actually helping Megatron. I'm not going to tell you what the Sentinel is doing because that would spoil the whole movie and you wouldn't want to go see it. It is an entertaining film. It is worth seeing. I don't know about the 3D. There were some shots where it was very helpful, and then there were some shots where it was like, okay, we really didn't need to see that. And, you know, of course we saw it in the very famous Real D 3D. In case you haven't been to one of these yet, you go in there, you wear these cool shades. Or some scenes, I should say, just like, okay, you know, it was like, okay, we can turn off the 3D and then turn it back on with indicators, but then you'd have problems, people complaining about the indicators popping up. And of course, there is a little bit of controversy here over the Megan Fox and Michael Bay, Steven Spielberg feud here. And I've heard this, that Michael Bay is a jerk. I mean, he's a real scumbag. I mean, I believe Bruce Willis was quoted in saying that he was a scumbag on Armageddon. And so he kind of took Megan Fox's side. But what Megan Fox said was very offensive. I mean, even though someone's a jerk, you don't compare them to Adolf Hitler. The girl that they got to take her place, Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, she plays a character called Carly, who I pointed to my brother, and Brian was with me, and I said, you know, she's kind of like a British version of Megan Fox. Quite frankly, I think she seems more nicer in this, and there is a bit more stronger love story there, because they do kind of briefly explain that Sam and Michaela had a falling out, and that it didn't work out, and Michael Bay expresses that, what he thinks of Megan Fox through a couple of characters, and I'm going to let you see it and judge for yourself. At Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, we also run into cameos by Patrick Dempsey and John Malkovich. John Malkovich, I can go ahead and tell you about. He basically becomes Sam's boss. He's a guy that hires Sam because he likes his integrity and he likes his energy, and he's quite humorous. Patrick Dempsey, he has a little bit more crucial to the story rather than John Malkovich. But Duke, it's worth checking out in a theater. It does have its cons. I would put this slightly above Revenge of the Fallen. It's in between the first film and the second film in terms of quality, I think. The 3D thing, 3D may be a fad, but I did like what they did with, there's a couple scenes in here where they flash back between archival news footage. They definitely play the Walter Cronkite, Apollo 11 mission footage, and of course that wasn't shot in 3D, and so it converts back to 2Ds. Even there's a cameo by Fox News favorite Bill O'Reilly, giving his opinion on what he thinks the government should do with the Autobots and Decepticons. But it's quite humorous. I'll go ahead and say it's the introduction of Agent Simmons by John Turturro. It's a typical action flick. I mean, I still think Super 8 is probably my favorite movie of the summer. Now, the one thing I did like, I will give a compliment to, is you will not get this camera move that goes all the way around and the 360 stuff. That has been toned down. I think so. I mean, in the other two movies, it was spinning camera. Optimus is transforming into Optimus Prime, and then he's fighting. This, he just transforms and goes to town. No phony baloney with the camera. That was the stuff that could have been cut. Because otherwise, I'm going to look for specific things when you show that much detail. But other than that, it's a fun movie. Do see it in 3D. If you do want the 3D continue, do go see it, because the studios are really riding on Transformers and Kung Fu Panda 2, because Real D 3D stocks have plummeted, and they took a survey that said that most people saw the 2D versions as opposed to the 3D versions. Now, some of that may be in effect to the price. It is $3 more if you go see it in the Real D 3D. However, it's double if you go see it in IMAX 3D. So, choose your 3Ds with care, or do see it in 2D. And like I said before, the nice thing about it has helped usher in the digital cinema. Don't get me wrong, I think film is a good format. It'll always be a great format. But the problem is that theaters have abused it so much, and they've almost become unwatchable. I mean, it's nothing to go into a theater that would be a brand new movie and see nothing but scratches and cigarette burns and splice bumps, and you're just wondering when the thing's gonna break. So from me to you, bye for now.